So after my accident, I finally had my surgery to my knee. How has been the recovery since it have already passed 4 months? And also, how much this have affect my relationship with the brands that I used to work? And by saying I used to work, I think you know where I'm going. So if you want to know that and much more, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack. And if you love EUCs, PVs, and everything that have an E of electricity, this used to be the place for you. And if you saw my previous video, that I know it was a long time ago, and I'm really sorry to have been away for so long. It never happened in 7 years of this channel. But I really needed that breakout. I really needed to be away from YouTube and just focusing in myself, in my family, in my recovery. But also these couple of months since this happened. So this happened in the 28th of March that I had my last accident, and I have already covered all that part. So if you are curious to know a little bit more why I had to do an operation, definitely check the previous video. This one is just to give you like a heads up on where I am and where it goes, this channel, if you want, related obviously with electric mobility. And obviously talking a little bit more about this massive surgery that I had to do on my knee and what is the next episodes for myself. And I'm trying to laugh just to be a little bit more positive, because there is a lot of negatives and a lot of things to think about it, because this really have impact massively my life, my lifestyle, and we'll cover that during this video. As you know, I had multiple accidents. My first one was obviously on the electric unicycle in 2018. I basically broke my ACL. They've done nothing. It happened again in January 2024. They've done nothing. And finally, I had to do something. But here in the UK, with this last injury that I had just by walking and stepping to the side from an injury that I've done on the electric unicycle 7 years ago, they wanted to remove my meniscus. So because of that, I decided to also get a second opinion and go through a very experienced and very knowledgeable doctor that hopefully I had possibility to contact with, and he managed to save my meniscus, because I was thinking with 41, losing my meniscus at this stage, at this age, it was going to impact drastically all my life. And definitely thinking about returning to electric skateboards or electric unicycles was definitely not an option if I was losing my meniscus. Since I managed to stay with my meniscus, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, and I will show you even footage of my operation. If you are a bit more sensitive, that's the moment that you just hear the video and you don't look to it. But since I managed to stay with it, I can think towards 2026 to restart riding. And yeah, it's a long period of time, but we'll cover that in a minute. So what you are seeing here next to me is my knee and everything that was done. So as you are aware, I had an ACL that had to be reconstructed, and I have a meniscus that was completely tear. The first doctor said that I will have to remove it because it was completely tear, but this doctor managed to basically stitch my anterior meniscus in 4 different places. When I wake up from my operation, I was really not happy about it, because he told me that I'll have to stay 10 days in bed and without putting any weight on it. But after he saw how bad was my knee, he basically decided that, you know what, you have to stay in bed basically for 2 months. At least 1 month and a half, definitely. But for 2 months, you will not be able to drive, you will not be able to put your feet on the ground. And that was definitely something that I was not happy about it, but it was necessary. Obviously, by having to stay so long in bed, I lost all the muscle that I had on my leg. From the top of my knee, you could see like a massive dent, because there were no muscle whatsoever for all that time. I got more weight, something that I really wanted to lose, but unfortunately I got more weight. My mood was definitely not the best. Hopefully I had a lot of friends that support me during that period, being with me, playing a lot of Magic the Gathering. If you play Magic the Gathering, let me know. But that also helped me a lot to stay focused, because obviously I couldn't come back to work. I was just receiving SSP, that is about 475 pounds a month. In 40 years of my life, I never had to ask any help from my mom, and suddenly I had to, because we were really struggling with all the situation. I just recently restarted to work, but I can only work 4 hours, and after going home and so on and so on. And just maybe in December, I'll be able to go full time, because normally my shifts doing my regular job is 10 hours standing. So because of that, I need to go slowly going back to work. What you are seeing here is basically him trying to put back my meniscus that, like I said, it was there in 4 different places, and he made him decide to put me in bed for basically 2 months. During this time, I couldn't be more disappointed, not with you guys, because I receive a lot of great message from you guys giving the support and understanding how hard this must be. But the truth is that didn't happen from all the companies that I work with. And don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting that everyone comes and give me a hug or beat me on my back, but there were companies, and I'm not going to say names, but there were companies that I worked super hard in the last 7 years that I used to cover about 20 to 25 videos a year for that specific brand. Slowly, or obviously because of Brexit also, things has changed, the structure inside the company has changed, but now even just to get them to answer to my message is really problematic. The same happens with distributors that we were very good friends. I never heard back about them anymore. It's really difficult to enter in contact with them. Like we say in Portuguese, I pass from bestia a besta, so I pass from the best to a beast, and something that nobody cares about. That really affected me mentally. It was already hard since Brexit to lose all the partnerships that I have done. Being in this situation that nobody even remembers who I am was really disappointing and really sad. Funny fact, one of the brands that I was not expecting was a brand of electric skateboards that contacted me, sent me a message saying they saw my video. They can't even understand how difficult it must be for me to be in this kind of situation, but they said they want to continue to work with me. And it's funny, it's one of the companies that I work the less. I didn't do a lot of videos for them, and I was super impressed with their message and really touched, because in opposite of all the other brands, they forgot who I am and what I've done for the community and how much I helped the community to grow. Because like Wrong Way and other YouTubers at that time, we were just few of us. That company remember what I've done for them. So I would like to just big a massive shout out to Meeple, because it really touched me, the message, and they just want me to give my honest opinion by unboxing. I explained to them that I'm not able to ride. Even I'm still deciding how it's going to be the future, and you'll understand when we'll talk about my knee a little bit further down this video. But I'm still deciding if I will be back into electric skateboards, electric unicycles, and so on and so on. Like I explained, I had to have stitches on my meniscus, and this is already a stage that the meniscus is already stitched in some parts, and it's just showing on the video that is in place. So if you have a meniscus tear like I had, it can take up to 2 years. That is the critical time of that meniscus to be sure that you pass that period that it can damage again. So my doctor said that the probability of getting injured again on the meniscus is about 30%. So I need to be very careful of what I'm doing. What you are seeing now is them basically reconstructing my ACL. And this is maybe one of the things that I'm struggling the most. And it's not even pain on the knee or whatsoever, but it's on the bottom section of my leg. So as you guys can see here, I have a big scar where they opened my leg, and I had that one, and they've done basically 6 holes on my leg. On this section, they came to this section of my leg to take 2 tendons to create a tendon to my ACL. And every time that I try to bend up this knee, I have a massive pain on this section. So basically, what I'm trying to say is for them to do this part of my operation and taking those 2 tendons, that section of my leg, I feel like if you are pulling some hair on the inside of my skin. It is not hair, but it's basically the fibers and so on. There is something missing in there, and it's really painful every time that I bend my knee. And when we talk about strength, I'm really far from good. At the minute, I can basically just do, when we talk about extension of my leg, I can only do about, I will say 3.5 kilos, something that I used to do 30 kilos per leg. So I'm really far from being back to normal. I'm not able to run. I'm not able to squat. I'm not able to do heavy lifting. It's really hard. I can't do something like as simple as, for example, bringing the cat litter up the stairs on my house, something that would have, like, imagine 20 kilos, 30 kilos. That's something that I can't do. My knee doesn't have that type of strength to go up the stairs and grabbing something as heavy as that. So it really impacts my life economically, and obviously in the long run, everything that I have to pass to be back to normal. So let's cover the reports of my knee from 2024 to 2025 and why I decided to put NHS in court. So looking to this image, here is the real reason why I decided to put NHS in court. I contacted those companies of no win, no fee, and I found one that they agree that I have a case and that we'll be able to win. And I'm not really trying to do this to get the money. I'm just trying to prove a point. Is they've done nothing in 2018. So when I went to the hospital, they just basically ignored that I had an accident, that my leg bent towards the side. And obviously in that time is when I broke my ACL. And last time, not last time, but the previous one in 2024, I told them that my knee collapsed. They've done an X-ray. In the X-ray was not possible to see anything, but on the MRI was saying that my ACL was broken, and they decided to go on the conservative way that was doing nothing, even if I lost the most important ligament on my knee. And basically 1 year and 3 months later, I injured once again my knee, and now the damage was not just the ACL, but what you are seeing here, meniscus completely tear down. This company agrees with me that we have here a massive case, even if normally proving that the meniscus was damaged is difficult. But here, since you have reports from 2024 that they decided to do nothing, and in 2025, now I have not only the meniscus damage, but also damage on the cartilage. So my cartilage is slightly thinner than it should be already. This is a massive issue because my meniscus can tear again. I had to stay 2 months in bed when I didn't have to if it was just a ACL ligament. All the money that I lost because I'm not been working, even if now I'm back to work, I'm not able to do big things. It's taking much longer to recover, because if it was just the ACL, sometimes to do majority of your things after 6 months, you are almost recovered. But here is up to 2 years and fully recovered 90 something percent after 1 year. Yeah, I still have a long road in front of me to try to recover. I really hope that I'll be able to ride again, because one of the things also that have changed a lot in my life is the fact that when I decided to start using electric unicycles was the fact that I wanted to be away from the cars, away from traffic, away from polluting the air every single day, being more calm, because I will be in the middle of trees and people and ducks and yeah, it was a different vibe to go to work, that now I'm back to having to use public transports or waiting for a lift from my wife or a friend of mine. So it completely have changed my whole life. I'm even considering to buy a car from me in second hand to be able to have a bit of freedom and the possibility to organize my day as I want, and without affecting or having to request to other people to pick me up. Yeah, what you are seeing in here really changed my life. Like I said, it also really affected me, because from a very important channel on the PEV market, I suddenly become a channel that nobody cares about. I'm not saying you guys once again, but I'm saying the companies that I supported and that I have promoted in here will continue to come back with other tech related. I'm really into do a specific video in the next couple of months. I want to basically revive my iPod Classic that I don't use it for ages, but was one of the products that I like the most from Apple. So I want to completely open, change it, even trying to do some designs on the front. I'm been trying to contact a company that do engraving, so I'll be able to engrave things on the back. So that's one thing that I would like to do really soon on the channel. If it's something that you'll be curious and you would like to see, let me know in the comments below. But I'm getting tired to rely on Spotify, and after I have to travel and I've done the download of the music but it's not there anymore, or I want to hear something in specific but I didn't download it before, or I forgot to download some films. So I'm really thinking to be able to have things in here, so I'll be able to follow those things, and having all my musics like I used to have before, and my photos and so on and so on. So definitely something that I would like to do in the near future. I've been looking how to open these things because the iPod Classic 6 and 7, because they are all metal, is really, really hard to open without damaging. So I've been looking into it, and I need to start ordering parts, but let me know if that's something that you would like me to mod and to see here on the channel. Before I finish, I would like just to thank all of you guys, all the great message that you guys sent me. It really helped me to be better mentally, if you want. Having all your message really helped me to pass these months. I know that I was not answering straight away because I was trying to be a little bit away from YouTube, but I was reading your message straight away. But after a couple of weeks, maybe I answered to all those comments. I will try my best to be back into the game of making videos every single week for you guys, trying to be a little bit more raw, because I feel that with AI is getting more and more annoying to go on YouTube and see so many videos just processed by AI, and you don't feel that you are connecting with anybody. So that's something that I've been missing out from YouTube. So maybe my videos will be a little bit more raw, like this one that we are just having a conversation. But yeah, I would like just to say thank you to all of you guys, because it was really, really good to have all your messages to read during these difficult 4 months that I was basically just at home and not communicating with a lot of people besides my wife and my friends. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face. And I hope to see you soon in the next one.